Hey, what's up guys? You know what it is? It's YGolf TV. It's Connor. I'm back. You can hit me up on Twitter at YGolf TV. That's at YGolf TV on Twitter. You can probably also subscribe either there or there. So do it, man. If you got questions, you want us to make you a video, want me to make you a video, maybe there'll be other people in the future, who knows. You know, just ask. It's not rocket science. Anyway, I'm going to make a video for you guys today that deals with footwork, which I think is crazy important. It doesn't matter if you are a beginner, so working on basic contact, an intermediate, basic control, or you're a baller and you're working on dynamic control. Footwork is the whole deal. Like it's the be all and the end all, right? If you don't push against the ground the right way with your feet, you can't kind of get the right muscles in the right order to fire to make you efficient. And eventually you'll overwork a certain group of muscles, and you know, your body will get tired, man, unless you're eating right, which not a lot of people are, pumping sugar in themselves. It's going to get tough. It's going to get real tough. So, without further ado, here's my thoughts on setup footwork, which I think is, you know, kind of, it should make sense. If it doesn't make sense, hit us up, and hopefully we can make it make sense, or hopefully we can convince you that we're right on this one, at least. So a lot of people are afraid, especially when they're new to golf or they're intermediate to golf, they're worried about their alignment. So they're trying to get their feet square, their knees square, their hips square, and their shoulders square. And they think that if they're square in their setup, that'll lead to them hitting a ball that goes on a line. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think you have to have a sense and an idea of how you want to align your body at impact, okay, based on the shot you want to learn. So it's retarded to try and hit it straight, especially if you're new to golf. It's way too hard, and the game gets a lot easier when you're trying to put a little bit of curve on the ball. We're not talking like huge slingers or huge slices, but a little bit of curve makes it easier to kind of predict, all right, it's going to move there, it's going to start there. So, you know, your static setup position, in other words, has no relevance. Nobody should care about it. What you should care about is, where am I going to get to at impact, and how's that going to allow me to hit the certain shot that I want? And what I would suggest, especially for most people, is it's a lot easier to move into impact if you take your front foot and your setup and you open it, okay? For a number of reasons. One, most people spend way too much time at work and they have crazy tight hip flexors and their glutes don't really engage when they do much of anything. That's why you see a lot of people when they go, they look like this, okay? So, when you move forward into transition to get to that impact position, you know, you only have a certain range of motion in this hip joint, and it's easier to kind of use everything that's at your disposal, okay, if you set up with your front foot kind of flared open. You can set up with your back one flared open if you want, but it's not the end of the world if you don't, okay? But the front one, because golf is such a one-side dominant sport and you're always moving and beating up on, you know, for me, my left side of my body, if you're a lefty, you'd do the opposite. Because you're always smashing into this side of this body and using your lead side to stabilize, it takes a beating, man. It's like the equivalent of doing a workout. You know, your body after a round of golf internally is pretty exhausted. So make it easier, all right? I'll make maybe 2 videos about this because I don't think I can get it all done in one. But the first suggestion I'm going to make is that you flare that front foot out, okay? And then in your backswing, let this knee come in a little bit, because what you ultimately want in your transition is you want this knee to move over, and now your ankle, your knee, and your hip are in perfect alignment with each other. It probably doesn't look like it from that angle, but trust me, this quad is fired, and I've got my glute med ready to go, and I got pressure in the right spot on the ground, so I can kind of support my move forward. All right? This, okay, Tiger 97, Tiger 98, a little bit of Tiger 2000. That is a knee injury and an ankle injury and a hip issue waiting to happen and possibly a lower back issue. Okay, if this leg straightens really quick, Yeah, you can maybe create some power and some club head speed on the outside, but if this thing locks into place, these muscles shut down, they stop working for you, okay, and other parts of your body, your lower back and your hip, take a huge blow, and especially your knee takes a huge, absorbs a huge amount of that force from impact. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is definitely practice with your front foot flared out and just hit shots. If you're new to golf, or you finish with your balance over your front foot. If you're kind of working on basic control, what I would suggest is start with your front foot flared out and practice where you're going to get to an impact. And if you go online, you look at the best players that have ever played, they all have a little bit of flex in their lead knee at impact. Okay? As long as you got flex in your lead knee at impact, you can support the club face. As soon as this leg starts to straighten, the club face starts to rotate. So that's part one. Hit us up if you got any questions. You know where we're at. @YGolfTV on Twitter.